Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the weight of emotional attachment, as if you're caught in a never-ending cycle that seems impossible to escape? You're not alone. Many people grapple with the challenge of letting go, feeling trapped and powerless in their emotions. However, there's a silver lining. Change is not just possible, but well within your reach. This video, inspired by the timeless wisdom of ancient Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, will uncover powerful Stoic principles to help you emotionally detach from someone. Why is detachment so transformative? As Seneca wisely said, "He who is brave is free." Detachment doesn't imply becoming cold or indifferent. Instead, it means finding strength and clarity within yourself. In this video, we'll explore profound Stoic principles that can guide you on a journey toward emotional freedom. By integrating these habits into your daily life, you'll discover practical and healthy strategies to loosen the grip of emotional attachment, allowing you to reclaim your peace of mind and focus on what truly matters. Imagine saying goodbye to the mental chains that bind you and embracing a newfound sense of clarity and focus. The teachings of Stoicism will empower you to navigate your emotions with resilience and wisdom. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." By applying these teachings, you will learn to prioritize your inner peace over external circumstances. Are you ready to break free from the chains of emotional attachment and embrace the power of personal growth? If so, this video is for you. We'll guide you through Stoic habits that will transform your approach to emotional detachment. Let's begin by asking ourselves, what truly holds value in our lives, if not the peace within our minds? Join us as we explore these rules, paving the way toward a liberated Stoic mindset. Let's dive in and begin this journey of emotional liberation together. Rule number 1, the power of detachment. Have you ever felt like your emotions are controlled by someone else, as if you're a puppet with someone else pulling the strings? Have you ever wondered how much control you've handed over to others simply because of your attachments? This is where the power of detachment comes into play. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start living a life where your peace and happiness aren't dictated by external factors. Why is detachment so transformative? Consider the wisdom of Epictetus, who said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." Detachment is about reclaiming your power, understanding that while you cannot control external events, you can control your response to them. Think about it. When we cling too tightly to people or situations, they begin to control us. It's like giving someone else the remote control to your emotions, allowing them to flip through the channels at will. Their influence can dictate your happiness, your sadness, and in extreme cases, can drive you to make irreversible decisions. Detachment is about reclaiming that remote and deciding for yourself which channels to watch. Imagine your emotions as a kite, with every string attached to something or someone, representing a potential direction. Your emotions can be pulled. If you hold on to too many strings or one too tightly, you're at the mercy of the wind. Stoicism teaches us to loosen our grip, to understand that while we can't control the wind, we can decide which strings to hold. This approach doesn't make you cold or indifferent. It makes you grounded and resilient. Let's get practical. Start by identifying what or who you're overly attached to. Next, ask yourself, why are you seeking validation? Are you afraid of loneliness, or is it something else? Understanding the root of your attachment is the first step in loosening its grip. Now, engage in activities that fill you with a sense of purpose and satisfaction. By focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't, you begin to anchor yourself in your own strength and values. As you embrace detachment, you start to see the world differently. You recognize that your worth is not tied to external circumstances, but is intrinsic and unwavering. This realization empowers you to move forward with clarity and confidence, free from the mental shackles of attachment. Remember, as Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." By practicing detachment, you are not withdrawing from life, but engaging with it more fully, with a clear mind and a steady heart. Rule number 2, understanding attachment. Have you ever wondered why we cling so tightly to certain people or situations, even when it causes us pain? What drives this need to hold on, and how can we break free from it? Understanding attachment is a key step in the journey toward emotional detachment and personal freedom. Let's dive deep into this concept, drawing wisdom from the Stoic philosophers to guide us. Attachment, at its core, is rooted in our ego. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This wisdom highlights the essence of attachment, our desires and perceived needs. When we're attached to something or someone, we often operate from a place of ego, seeking validation, security, or a sense of identity from external sources. Consider a newborn baby, radiating joy and untouched by the complexities of ego. As we grow, our ego begins to take the driver's seat, cluttering our lives with attachments. These attachments, whether to people, objects, or ideals, cloud our judgment and distract us from our true essence, which is love and self-contentment. Have you ever felt that your happiness hinges on another person's approval or presence? This is a clear sign of ego-driven attachment. To begin untangling ourselves from these attachments, we must first recognize them for what they are, products of our ego seeking security and validation. Ask yourself, why am I so attached to this person or outcome? What fear or desire is driving this attachment? Understanding the root of your attachment is the first step in loosening its grip. Now imagine living a life from a place of love rather than ego. What if you could trust in the abundance of the universe, believing that what's meant for you will find its way? This mindset shift is powerful. It's about recognizing your inherent worth and capabilities, independent of external factors. As you begin to view your desires and connections through this lens, you'll start to see the unnecessary weight they add to your life. Embracing the concept of abundance is crucial. When you let go of the fear of loss, the universe often rewards you with more than what you let go of. Detachment doesn't mean you care less. It means you understand better. It means staying true to your essence and letting love guide you rather than fear. The journey toward detachment is transformative. It's about shedding layers of ego to uncover the resilient, love-filled soul beneath. It's about moving forward with lightness, free from the burdens of attachment and ready to welcome new blessings with open arms and a steadfast heart. By prioritizing your inner peace over external validation, you pave the way for a life of true emotional freedom and fulfillment. Sorry for interrupting, but I have something special for you. If you want to become successful, start by setting a proper nighttime routine. Check out the link in the pinned comment to know all about the night routine of the greatest Roman emperor. Let's continue. Rule number 3, the illusion of control. Have you ever felt that your happiness depended on someone else's actions or validation? Do you sometimes believe that if you just try hard enough, you can control the outcomes of your relationships and emotions? This is a common misconception that many of us face, the illusion of control. Understanding and dismantling this illusion is crucial for emotional detachment and personal freedom. Our ego often tricks us into thinking that we can control external events and other people's reactions. This illusion leads us to place undue importance on how others perceive us, which can result in emotional clinginess and dependence. As Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This saying highlights a fundamental Stoic principle. While we cannot control external events, we can control our responses to them. When we cling to the illusion of control, we may find ourselves idolizing individuals and placing them on pedestals, believing that our worth is tied to their approval. This mindset creates a distorted perception of reality where we see others as possessing something unattainable. Yet when we strip away these illusions, we realize that everyone is equally human, equally vulnerable. No one holds a special ticket that makes them inherently superior or more worthy. To dismantle this illusion, start by acknowledging that much of what we believe we can control is in fact beyond our influence. This realization can be both humbling and liberating. Accepting that we cannot control others' actions or feelings allows us to focus on what we can control, our own thoughts, reactions, and personal growth. By shifting our focus inward, we build self-confidence and resilience. For instance, instead of seeking validation from others, practice self-affirmation. Remind yourself regularly of your unique strengths and qualities. Understand that your value does not depend on someone else's perception. This practice aligns with another Stoic teaching from Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Embracing the abundance mindset is another effective strategy. Recognize that the universe is vast, and there is plenty of love, success, and happiness to go around. When you stop fearing the loss of one particular person or outcome, you open yourself to a world of new possibilities and opportunities. In relationships, this understanding allows you to love freely, without desperate attachment. It empowers you to appreciate connections while maintaining your sense of self-worth and independence. Remember, enforcing emotional detachment is not about pushing people away or building walls around your heart. Instead, it's about cultivating a healthy balance between connection and independence. It's about loving without losing yourself, caring without clinging, and nurturing relationships without becoming emotionally dependent on them. When you embrace the reality that you cannot control others, you free yourself from the unnecessary stress and anxiety that often accompany relationships. This understanding allows you to engage with others from a place of genuine connection rather than neediness or fear. You begin to interact with the world from a position of strength and self-assurance, knowing that your happiness is not contingent on anyone else's actions or approval. Rule number 4, focus on the present moment. Have you ever caught yourself dwelling on past mistakes or anxieties about the future, only to realize that these thoughts are robbing you of your present peace? The Stoics believe that the only thing we truly have control over is the present moment. By focusing on the now, we can let go of the emotional burdens of the past and the uncertainties of the future, allowing ourselves to live fully and freely in the present. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of living in the present moment. Confine yourself to the present. This advice is a cornerstone of Stoic practice, reminding us that the present is the only reality we can directly influence. When you dwell on the past, you often relive the pain of old wounds or regret missed opportunities. When you worry about the future, you create scenarios in your mind that may never come to pass, draining your energy and peace of mind. To cultivate a focus on the present, start by practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully aware and engaged in the current moment without judgment or distraction. This can be as simple as paying attention to your breathing, noticing the sensations in your body, or fully engaging in whatever task is at hand. By anchoring yourself in the present, you break free from the emotional roller coaster of dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Another effective technique is gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have, grounding you in the present moment. Begin or end your day by reflecting on a few things you are grateful for. These could be simple pleasures, such as a warm cup of coffee, a kind gesture from a friend, or the beauty of nature. By practicing gratitude, you train your mind to appreciate the present and find joy in the here and now. In relationships, focusing on the present allows you to engage more deeply and authentically with others. Instead of getting caught up in past grievances or future expectations, you can fully appreciate the person in front of you. This presence fosters deeper connections and reduces the likelihood of misunderstandings or unmet expectations. Remember, the present moment is where life unfolds. By living in the now, you free yourself from the chains of past regrets and future anxieties, allowing yourself to experience life with a sense of peace and contentment. This focus on the present is not about ignoring the past or neglecting the future, but about recognizing that the present is where your true power lies. Rule number 5, embrace impermanence. Have you ever found yourself clinging to a relationship or situation, hoping it would last forever, only to be disappointed when it inevitably changed? One of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism is the concept of impermanence. Everything in life is transient and subject to change. Embracing this truth is key to emotional detachment and personal growth. The Stoics believed that all things, whether relationships, material possessions, or even life itself, are temporary. This understanding is captured in the phrase memento mori, which means, remember you must die. This is not meant to be morbid, but to remind us that life is fleeting and that we should cherish what we have without becoming overly attached to it. When you embrace impermanence, you begin to see relationships and experiences as fleeting moments to be appreciated rather than permanent fixtures to be clung to. This perspective allows you to enjoy what you have without the fear of losing it. It also helps you to let go of what is no longer serving you, making room for new experiences and connections. Consider a beautiful flower in bloom. You can admire its beauty and fragrance, knowing that it will eventually wither and die. If you were to try to hold on to it, you would only end up with a wilted flower. The same applies to relationships and situations in life. By accepting their impermanence, you can fully enjoy them in the moment without the pain of trying to hold on to something that is naturally fading. To practice embracing impermanence, start by reflecting on the transient nature of your own experiences. Recognize that everything in life, including emotions, relationships, and even your own thoughts, is constantly changing. By doing so, you can develop a sense of detachment and resilience that allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease. In relationships, this understanding helps you to love and appreciate others without becoming overly attached or dependent. You can enjoy the time you have with someone without the fear of losing them or the need to control the relationship's outcome. This mindset also prepares you for the inevitable changes that come with time, allowing you to let go gracefully when the time comes. Remember, embracing impermanence is not about becoming indifferent or detached from life. It's about understanding that change is a natural part of life, and that by accepting it, you can live more fully in the present and let go of the fear of loss. This acceptance is a powerful tool for emotional detachment, helping you to navigate relationships and life's challenges with a sense of peace and equanimity. Rule number 6, practice self-compassion. Have you ever found yourself being overly critical of your emotions or reactions, especially when trying to let go of someone or something? It's easy to fall into the trap of self-judgment when you're struggling with emotional attachment. However, one of the most important Stoic principles is the practice of self-compassion, treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a close friend. Self-compassion is not about letting yourself off the hook or making excuses for your behavior. Instead, it's about acknowledging your humanity and recognizing that everyone struggles with emotions and attachment at times. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Self-compassion allows you to see your struggles as opportunities for growth and self-improvement rather than as failures. To practice self-compassion, start by being mindful of your self-talk. Notice when you are being critical or harsh with yourself and try to reframe those thoughts in a more compassionate and understanding way. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I should be over this by now," try instead, "It's okay that I'm still working through this. Healing takes time, and I'm doing my best." Another key aspect of self-compassion is self-care. Take time to nurture yourself, both physically and emotionally. This might involve engaging in activities that bring you joy, spending time in nature, or practicing mindfulness and meditation. By taking care of yourself, you reinforce the idea that you are worthy of love and compassion, both from yourself and others. In relationships, self-compassion helps you to set healthy boundaries and prioritize your own well-being. When you treat yourself with kindness and respect, you are less likely to tolerate toxic or one-sided relationships. You become more attuned to your own needs and are better able to communicate them to others. This self-awareness and self-respect are essential for emotional detachment, as they allow you to prioritize your own happiness and well-being without feeling guilty or selfish. Remember, self-compassion is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It takes courage to face your emotions and struggles with kindness and understanding. By practicing self-compassion, you create a foundation of inner strength and resilience that allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and equanimity. This practice is essential for emotional detachment, as it helps you to let go of self-judgment and embrace your own humanity with love and acceptance. Rule number 7, focus on personal growth. Have you ever felt that your identity was tied to a relationship or situation to the point where you lost sight of who you are? One of the key principles of Stoicism is the pursuit of personal growth and self-improvement. By focusing on your own development, you can detach from unhealthy attachments and build a life that is grounded in your values and goals. The Stoics believed that the purpose of life is to live in accordance with reason and virtue, continually striving to become the best version of yourself. This focus on personal growth is essential for emotional detachment, as it allows you to shift your focus from external validation to internal fulfillment. When you are committed to your own growth, you are less likely to become overly attached to others or to rely on them for your sense of self-worth. To focus on personal growth, start by setting goals that align with your values and aspirations. These goals can be related to your career, relationships, health, or personal development. The key is to focus on what is within your control and to take consistent, intentional steps toward achieving these goals. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." By taking action toward your goals, you build confidence and resilience, making it easier to detach from unhealthy attachments. Another important aspect of personal growth is self-reflection. Take time to regularly assess your progress and identify areas where you can improve. This might involve journaling, meditating, or seeking feedback from trusted friends or mentors. By being honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses, you can make informed decisions about where to focus your efforts and how to overcome obstacles. In relationships, focusing on personal growth allows you to bring your best self to the table. When you are committed to your own development, you are less likely to become dependent on others for your happiness or self-worth. You can engage with others from a place of confidence and self-assurance, knowing that your value is not tied to their approval or validation. Remember, personal growth is a lifelong journey, not a destination. By continually striving to improve yourself, you create a foundation of inner strength and resilience that allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and equanimity. This focus on personal growth is essential for emotional detachment, as it helps you to build a life that is grounded in your values and goals rather than in external attachments or dependencies. Rule number 8, cultivate resilience through adversity. Have you ever faced a difficult situation and felt like it was the end of the world, only to later realize that it was a stepping stone to something greater? One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the idea that adversity is an opportunity for growth and resilience. By embracing challenges and setbacks, you can develop the strength and fortitude needed to detach from unhealthy attachments and thrive in the face of life's difficulties. The Stoics believed that adversity is an inevitable part of life, and that how we respond to it determines our character and destiny. As Epictetus, a former slave turned Stoic philosopher, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This mindset is key to developing resilience, as it shifts your focus from external circumstances to your internal response. When you see challenges as opportunities for growth, you are less likely to be overwhelmed by them and more likely to emerge stronger and wiser. To cultivate resilience through adversity, start by reframing challenges as opportunities for growth. When faced with a difficult situation, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this experience? By shifting your perspective, you can transform obstacles into stepping stones on your path to personal development. Another important aspect of resilience is perseverance. The Stoics believed in the importance of enduring hardships with courage and determination. When you encounter setbacks, rather than giving up or becoming discouraged, keep pushing forward. As Seneca said, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. By persevering through adversity, you build the mental and emotional strength needed to detach from unhealthy attachments and thrive in the face of life's challenges. In relationships, cultivating resilience allows you to navigate conflicts and difficulties with grace and equanimity. Rather than becoming overly attached to the outcome of a relationship or situation, you can approach it with a sense of inner strength and confidence. This resilience helps you to maintain your emotional balance and perspective, even in the face of challenges or setbacks. Remember, resilience is not about being invincible or unaffected by adversity. It's about having the inner strength and fortitude to face life's challenges with courage and determination. By cultivating resilience through adversity, you develop the capacity to detach from unhealthy attachments and navigate life's ups and downs with grace and equanimity. Rule number 9, practice forgiveness and letting go. Have you ever held onto a grudge or resentment only to find that it was causing you more pain than the original hurt? One of the key teachings of Stoicism is the importance of forgiveness and letting go. Holding on to anger, resentment, or bitterness not only harms you emotionally, but also keeps you tied to the very things you want to detach from. The Stoics believed that forgiveness is not about condoning or excusing harmful behavior, but about freeing yourself from the emotional burden of holding on to negative feelings. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. By choosing to forgive, you reclaim your power and free yourself from the emotional chains of anger and resentment. To practice forgiveness, start by acknowledging your feelings of hurt or anger. It's important to validate your emotions rather than suppress them. Once you've acknowledged your feelings, make a conscious decision to let go of them. This doesn't mean forgetting what happened or pretending it didn't matter, but rather choosing to release the emotional hold it has on you. Another important aspect of forgiveness is empathy. Try to understand the perspective of the person who wronged you, even if you don't agree with their actions. This doesn't mean excusing their behavior, but rather recognizing that everyone has their own struggles and reasons for acting the way they do. By cultivating empathy, you can soften your heart and make it easier to let go of anger and resentment. In relationships, practicing forgiveness allows you to move forward without carrying the emotional baggage of past hurts. This doesn't mean you have to continue a relationship with someone who has harmed you, but it does mean that you can let go of the negative emotions that are holding you back. By forgiving others, you free yourself to focus on your own growth and well-being, rather than being weighed down by the past. Remember, forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It takes courage to let go of anger and resentment and to choose peace over bitterness. By practicing forgiveness, you create a space of emotional freedom that allows you to detach from unhealthy attachments and move forward with grace and equanimity. Rule number 10, cultivate gratitude and contentment. Have you ever found yourself constantly striving for more, only to realize that it was never enough? One of the key principles of Stoicism is the practice of gratitude and contentment. By focusing on what you have rather than what you lack, you can cultivate a sense of inner peace and satisfaction that allows you to detach from the endless pursuit of external validation and material possessions. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from within, and that the key to contentment is not in acquiring more, but in appreciating what you already have. As Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. By practicing gratitude, you shift your focus from what you lack to what you already have, allowing you to find joy and contentment in the present moment. To cultivate gratitude, start by regularly reflecting on the things you are thankful for. This can be as simple as keeping a gratitude journal, where you write down a few things each day that you are grateful for. By doing this, you train your mind to focus on the positive aspects of your life, rather than dwelling on what you don't have. Another important aspect of contentment is simplifying your life. The Stoics believed in the value of living simply and focusing on what truly matters. By letting go of the constant pursuit of more, you can find contentment in the simple pleasures of life, such as spending time with loved ones, enjoying nature, or pursuing meaningful work. In relationships, cultivating gratitude and contentment allows you to appreciate the people in your life without becoming overly attached or dependent on them. When you are content with yourself and your life, you are less likely to seek validation or approval from others, and more likely to engage in relationships from a place of love and generosity rather than neediness or fear. Remember, gratitude and contentment are not about settling for less, but about finding joy and fulfillment in what you already have. By cultivating these qualities, you create a foundation of inner peace and satisfaction that allows you to detach from the endless pursuit of external validation and material possessions. This practice is essential for emotional detachment, as it helps you to focus on what truly matters and to find happiness from within. Rule number 11, accept what you cannot change. Have you ever found yourself struggling against reality, wishing that things were different than they are? One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the concept of acceptance, acknowledging and embracing the reality of your situation rather than resisting it. This acceptance is key to emotional detachment, as it allows you to let go of the need to control or change things that are beyond your control. The Stoics believed that suffering often comes from our resistance to what is, rather than from the situation itself. As Epictetus said, "It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them." By accepting what you cannot change, you free yourself from the emotional turmoil that comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. This acceptance doesn't mean giving up or being passive, but rather recognizing the limits of your power and focusing on what is within your control. To practice acceptance, start by identifying the areas of your life where you are struggling against reality. This might involve relationships, work, or personal circumstances. Ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? What is beyond my control? By clearly distinguishing between the two, you can direct your energy and efforts toward the things you can change, while letting go of the need to control the things you cannot. Another important aspect of acceptance is letting go of expectations. Often our suffering comes from the gap between our expectations and reality. By letting go of unrealistic or rigid expectations, you can approach life with a greater sense of openness and flexibility. This doesn't mean lowering your standards, but rather being adaptable and accepting of whatever comes your way. In relationships, acceptance allows you to see people and situations as they are, rather than as you wish they were. This helps you to engage with others from a place of understanding and compassion, rather than trying to change or control them. It also frees you from the emotional turmoil that comes from unmet expectations, allowing you to approach relationships with a greater sense of peace and equanimity. Remember, acceptance is not about resigning yourself to a life of passivity or complacency, but about embracing reality with grace and resilience. By accepting what you cannot change, you free yourself from the emotional burden of resistance and open yourself up to the possibilities of growth and transformation. This practice is essential for emotional detachment, as it allows you to let go of the need to control or change things that are beyond your control and to focus on what truly matters. As you embark on the journey of emotional detachment, remember that it is not about becoming cold or indifferent, but about cultivating a sense of inner peace and resilience that allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and equanimity. By following these 11 rules, you can free yourself from unhealthy attachments and dependencies and create a life that is grounded in your values, goals, and well-being. Emotional detachment is not a one-time achievement, but a lifelong practice. It requires ongoing self-reflection, personal growth, and the cultivation of resilience, gratitude, and acceptance. As you continue on this path, you will find that emotional detachment allows you to engage with life more fully and authentically, without being weighed down by the emotional burdens of the past or the anxieties of the future. Remember, the goal of emotional detachment is not to avoid or suppress your emotions, but to develop the inner strength and wisdom needed to navigate them with grace and resilience. By doing so, you can create a life of emotional freedom, inner peace, and true fulfillment. Let this be your guide as you continue on your journey toward emotional detachment. By embracing these Stoic principles, you can create a life of balance, contentment, and emotional freedom that allows you to thrive in all areas of your life.